are important. They will have a big impact on the day, given that we're inside of these variations of extensions. We also have the largest IPO in the history of the world, 1.77 trillion valuation. Morningstar used their discount cash model to get a value of 63. It's opening at 135. So you think about that. It's 100, I believe it's 114% that it's going to be opening up above the intrinsic value. What does that mean? Well, that $63 number doesn't really mean anything. But what we do in these types of IPO situations is we look for halfway backs. But what's really going to determine the next couple of days and weeks are the extension long levels that we're in, and more importantly, the leading indicator setups that we're inside of. Now, note here that we are stuck between two opposing setups inside of the dollar. And the dollar technically hasn't broken any of its bullish setups that we started off the week inside of. But it failed to break out of a previous high yesterday and is inside this big short from highs. This resistance level, and it's bearish below line in the sand, the 136, represents where a dollar weakness trade, and there's three components to the leading indicators. The denominator, if it's falling, it takes more dollars to buy the same amount of stuff, and the price goes up. And this is the first, I think, case that you could make here that the bullish scenario that we have going into our morning is valid if it holds below this level, this 136. When we're thinking about bank is going straight up in extensions. The financials are rallying. That is bullish for the broad markets. And there's even a traditional inside of that extension. And then there's the VIX. Now, the VIX is inside of extension shorts. We're looking at the July contract because the June contract is expiring next week. And what you'll see here is it looks a lot different than the June contract did. The July contract defended a short from highs and then has an extension short that it's already run to targets once. But what's right below us? Next week, Tuesday, going into Wednesday, we are going to be rolling over out of the June contract. The June contract expires into the new July. And the old June contract lows, which we're simulating here, to the new July contract highs, which you can see, there's a pullback down here. And what's fascinating about that is that the July contract lows, the lowest low is a 1965 down here. And that's where the big question arises is will the VIX run back down into its previous lows of the year, and will the extensions take us through those levels? And the extension long levels on the indices, they're valid until they fail. How far will they take us? That's what we're going to find out. And they're valid until they fail. And so we have this short-term intraday bullish environment here on all the narratives, all of the stories, all the narratives always exist simultaneously. They're omnipresent at all times. And when the markets are going up, all of the bullish narratives are at the front of everyone's minds. One of the interesting things about IPOs is that there's a big tell in the first 90 minutes of the day. There's a big tell going. This stream continues at emoneyaddict.com. The link is in the description. Join me there for tools and resources for learning measured move trading. I wrote the book on the measured move. Check out the hundreds of others that have learned trading plan development, pattern recognition, money management, and trading discipline with me to become the best, most confident trader that you can be.